Sola Scriptura, everyone. This is His Word Only. So, before we begin here, I want to say I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, I'm not a physician or anything like that, right? Not a sex coach. So, this is just me providing information and for you guys to look at. Alright, enjoy. It is time to open up the box. And today, we're getting into hooked on sex. Basically, sex addiction, right? And I want to get into, first I want to bring this verse up actually. Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? See, this is why our society is in the place where it's at, right? Because we're told to follow our hearts. And how I can prove your heart is deceitfully wicked. Have you ever had a spouse? Or a girlfriend, boyfriend, where your heart's telling you they're the one. Man, they're the one. And then 3 months, 6 months, year down the road or whatever, they change, or they're somebody that they're not, or the honeymoon wears off and they're not the same person, right? Or everything just breaks up and they weren't the one, right? That's your heart in lying to you, basically. And the reason why it lied to you? To get high. Think about that one. Because that's exactly what your heart's doing. It is lying to you to get a buzz, to get endorphins, right? Anyways, I want to say I was pretty much addicted to the P word, right? Up until about 2 months ago. I'll be honest, right? And I can notice the way I look at women differently now, right? They're not an object to me, right? To look at or whatever. I can actually start to look them in the eyes and all that, right? Anyways, alright, sorry about that cut. Technical difficulties. But when most people think of efforts to raise awareness about that word, harmful effects, the image that comes to mind is religious conservative. But one of the most impactful voices drawing attention to impact of modern that word didn't identify as either. Science instructor Gary Wilson was an atheist and was initially unwilling participant in the anti-that word movement. He was drawn into it by his wife's work. Wilson's wife was a lawyer and author who explored the science of pair bonding and sexuality. Around the time that streaming that word became available, men began leaving comments on her website. They were complaining about not finding satisfaction with their partners, lack of attraction to real people, and escalation to bizarre tastes that they found unsettling. Many of these men felt comfortable at her site because it was focused on the science of sex. In an effort to help these men, Wilson's wife shared what she was learning from her husband about brain plasticity. The two began to wonder where that word users training their brains to overvalue artificial sexual stimuli at the expense of real relationships. Some of these men began to experiment with eliminating online that word use. To their amazement, they began to heal. Not only did their sexual problems abate, but they experienced other unexpected benefits. Many reported improved concentration improved mood, and increased confidence. That also noticed stronger romantic and sexual attraction to their partners, along with less objectification towards women and greater respect. Now, I know people are going to cringe at that, but it's true. It is true. Tendencies towards extreme, that word, also began to fade away. With such positive outcomes, people kept asking why there was so little public discussion about the negative effects of online, that word, when it was clear that these men were only a microcosm of men around the world. In 2010, Wilson launched a website, yourbrainonThatWord.com. So there it is if you want to check it out. With the latest research on brain plasticity and behavior addiction. 2 years later, he gave a TED Talk, The Great That Word Experiment, which has been viewed more than 15 million times. By this time, it was becoming clear your brain on that word, internet that word, and the emerging science of addiction, which has been translated into German, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anyways, I want to get into this here. Okay. That may be news to you. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, what explains the popularity of this message? I believe is clearly he communicated that stunning consistency of preponderance of science research when it comes to impact of that word. That may be news to you. You may be one of many who have heard that research on that word is confusing or contested or unsettled. If that describes you, it might intrigue you to review Wilson's summaries. For instance, more than 85 studies linked to that word used to poor mental emotional health and poor cognitive outcomes. More than 80 studies link that word used to less sexual relationship satisfaction, with another 40 studies also linking to sexual problems and lower arousal to sexual stimuli. More than 40 studies link that word used to unegalitarian attitudes toward women and sexist views. Again, people are going to cringe at that because, see, this is what the woke movement does, man. Right? It makes people cringe at this, but this stuff is real. This is real. You're going to see why here. Of that word users and sex addicts, all but one provides evidence of that word addictiveness. Another 60 studies demonstrate indicators of addiction, including signs of that word use escalation and associated tolerance, habituation, and withdrawal symptoms. Despite all this, it is still remarkably common for people to hear messages like this. That word is not really that harmful, certainly not addictive, right? This is the same wordage that we get from, marijuana, stuff like that, right? It's not addictive. Yes, it is, by the way. It is very much addictive. Okay. But I for one know that, right? Trust me. We've all been there, done that, and anyways, let's just say guilty as charged, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this more. Sorry, I accidentally keep using the same word that I can't really use on YouTube. Okay, studies linking that word used to poor mental emotional health and poor cognitive outcomes. Many individuals who cease using that word for an extended period of time report mental and cognitive benefits such as improved concentration and focus, better grades, increased energy and motivation, social anxiety improved or gone, increased confidence, improved mood, depression reduced or gone, greater desire to be social, more intense or vibrant emotions, and increased desire to be loving relationship, right? All right, now we're going to get into more of the endorphin side here, right? Endorphins are morphine-like chemicals produced by the body that help diminish pain while triggering positive feelings, sometimes referred to as the brain's feel-good chemicals. The body also has natural painkillers when released from the pituitary gland of the brain during exercise, emotional stress, or pain. Learn more about the important role of endorphins in addiction. Altered neural process. The brain is deeply impacted by the abuse of drugs and alcohol. And that word use, right? Sexual addiction. Tolerance builds when an individual takes more of a substance to obtain the same impact on the body. Neurotransmitters in the brain impact the reward system of the body, and risk of addiction can increase when drugs or alcohol are used to the point of tolerance. Substance abuse impacts two neurotransmitters, dopaminergic and opinergic systems. Substance abuse damages the natural chemical systems in the brain, which is the seat of the body's reward systems. When tolerance builds, cravings for the substance go up and seek out the drug or alcohol. Or cheating on your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your, whatever, right? It's the same thing going on here, guys, right? And this is, you know, there's a point where you treat the drug not as something to help you, right? But as a part. I'm trying to get where I was going with that, darn it. Anyways, you start looking at, let's say, you start looking at that drug as the object of your good feelings, right? You're feeling a good emotion, right? Feeling emotions, right? So you start using that drug to get to that point, right? To feel normal. And this is what happens with sex, right? You have it a lot, you build it up with that word use, right? And you start looking at women differently. You start looking at them as more as an object to get high, right? Instead of looking at them as to build a relationship with, right? Makes you think maybe there's a reason why the Bible says to wait until you're married. And you're going to see another reason why here. But anyways, I want to bring up a few scriptures here. 1 Corinthians 10:13. There had no temptation taken you, but such as common to man, right? Right there. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Even though it seems tough, you can do it. It's possible. Right? Right here. Example numero uno, I guess. But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it, right? To bear it. It doesn't say he takes it away, but he says you'll be able to bear it, right? Anyways, 1 Corinthians 7:2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So, if you can't necessarily stop yourself from this stuff, right? It's better to have a woman in your life, or it's better to have a man in your life, right? And he will bring that for you, right? It says it right here. But anyways, sorry. Let every woman have her own husband. But, sorry, this is where I meant to go with that. That he will provide you a way of escape or a way out, right? And he will. He'll give you a husband or a wife. Remember, as though who ask, though you shall receive, and those who do his will, stuff like that, right? Pray according to his will, and that which you ask, you will receive. But anyways. Okay, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother. Now, this is talking about being one, right? We're getting to that why we should wait until we're married thing here. Okay. And shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. That one flesh is interesting there. Okay, Mark 10:8-9. And they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. Now, real quick, sorry to get into this, but in the guy's, when a guy's sperm goes into a woman, right? We're all adults here. That DNA becomes part of the woman, right? There it is. I mean, I could bring that up real quick. Let's see here. I don't know if this is the right way of putting it. We'll see here. Might as well bring it up. Yeah, it says studies show that some women have male DNA inside their bodies, but it doesn't happen because, oh, okay, maybe not. No, women do not absorb. Okay, well, hey, I was wrong on that one. That's fine. It's always good to make sure you're looking up and you get the right information. Okay. Anyways, Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is honorable and all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. Why is this? Because they're addicted. They're not themselves. They will, let's say, drug addicts who were the most nicest person, right, turn into monsters. Okay? This is why we have serial killers, right? Serial killers, they're just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. They're going to find even more grittier ways to killing, right? All that stuff. Anyways, this is why he says this stuff, right? Anyways, now we're going to get into oxytocin, right? What do they call it? The cuddle hormone or something like that, I think. Let's see. I better read this and probably say. Okay. Ever felt loved or loved up after sex? You're not alone. Sex can be both an expression of love, but also a way of creating love. If you're looking for answers to the question, why does sex cause emotional attachment? This is a piece for you. Emotional attachment in sex. And by the way, this all goes under fair use. So, I'm just commenting, educating people on these articles in subject matter. Okay. Anyways, forgot to say that at the beginning. I don't even know if that matters anyways, but anyways. It has to do with hormones. Often dubbed the love or, okay, yeah, there it is. Love or cuddle hormone. Oxytocin is the hormone responsible for connection and bonding, becoming one. It is released through touch, both the non-sexual and sexual kind. See, this is why God tells us to wait until we're married. What a concept. So that way you don't have a bunch of attachments to somebody who isn't the person you need to be with. Let's just put it that way, right? Or abusive or whatever, And the reason why these women or men, happens to men too, believe it or not, they stay with these partners is because of this, right? This oxytocin and this bonding agent, right? This is why we got to be careful on who we have sex with. This is why we should wait until we're married, right? Until you know that person is the one you love, right? The Bible doesn't just say these things, right? It tells you not to eat pork. Why? because it's bad for you. That's why. Pork or pigs eat anything. They'll eat humans if presented to it, right? They'll eat their own poop. Sorry to get gross on you, but it's true, right? There's a reason why he says this stuff, right? It's not to just be religious, you know? But, anyways, it's for our benefit. Okay. Hormone response for connection and bonding. It is released through touch, both the non sexual and sexual kind. Because of this, sex, even with a complete stranger, can lead to feelings of attachment and connection from the get go. However, for this to happen, the sex has to be satisfying. You see why when you're addicted to sex, if the person doesn't satisfy you, you don't want anything to do with them, right? On both sides. Okay, an unpleasurable experience or sex that we haven't consented to doesn't equal attachment. Yep. All right, and one thing I want to say here is that oxytocin is also makes you suspicious of others too. I just want to say that too. It's not just a bonding hormone. I just wanted to get that out there. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on here. Deuteronomy 7:3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Right? Now this goes with a mother and a father. Let's say they listen to that other part there where they got their son can't keep it in his pants, so they try to find a wife for him. That doesn't work, right? With this oxytocin thing, right? Doesn't necessarily, make you all of a sudden bond with somebody, right? What does is that addiction, right? That addiction to the endorphins, that good feeling, right? Which oxytocin helps with. Anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, and this is kind of a cool thing right here. Deuteronomy 24:5. When a man have taketh a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business. Wouldn't that be nice, huh? If we had a society like that today. But he shall be free at home 1 year. Wow, that's a lot. And shall cheer up his wife which he hath taken. God is just such a bad dude, ain't he? Just such a bad guy. My goodness. Anyways, I'm joking, by the way. Okay, Deuteronomy 24:7. Oh, I already did that one. Okay. We're pretty much ending this here. These are all the ones here too about wives and stuff like that. If you want to check it out. All that stuff. One good thing about our internet is we can look up things just like that, man. Gotta love it. Anyways, did I? Oh, let me close out of that. Anyways, let me finish this. Sorry, got distracted. 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own. It is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. That is the truth, right? This isn't blind, right? But anyways, I like to end things on a good note here. I hope you guys learned something from this, that we should really think about addiction and endorphins and sex addiction, right? The way it makes us look at the world. It makes us look at other people, right? And it's prominent. Sex is prominent in our society. It's on our TVs now. You know, it's the way society's going. But, anyways, I hope you guys were edified and you guys have a wonderful day. Sorry.